What is going on, everybody? It's King Koran with another Flare content for you guys. And man, I've got a good video for you guys regarding Flare's supply. And I've made a lot of these videos, right? I gave you guys some whiteboard sessions to explain what is really going to happen with the supply. But with this will change the whole game, folks. And I'm going to explain to you what will happen regarding flare supply. You see me laugh? See? When I laugh, it's good news, all right? So let me show you a tweet over here from Dr. Shreddy. And Dr. Shreddy is actually the reason why we are finding out that Hugo Filion is having this idea. So thank you, Dr. Shreddy. But as you can see, he tagged Hugo Filion with thoughts, flare improvement proposal, title, inflation neutral FLR treasury. Permanent buy and burn via three core revenue streams. And this tweet is way bigger, but I will show you it shortly. As you can see, Hugo Filion was responding under that tweet, stating, "Do you have access to my computer or something?" Jokes aside, we are working through the planning on something similar. We will present it as a governor's option when we have some certainty on its effectiveness. My goal, if it can be reached, is for Flare to become a non inflationary, or better yet, deflationary. Oh boy. And let me show you the full tweet over here. Simple summary: create a permanent immutable FLR treasury that automatically buys and burns FLR using modest portions of three high conviction native revenue streams. One, 15% of all yield earned on collateral unlocked by the core vault. In other words, the core vault is allowing agents to earn yield on their stablecoins. There should be a fee associated with that. So that's the 15%. Then you have the 30% of all F assets mint and redeem fees paid in underlying. So 30% of the fees will be actually buying FLR, but I will show you this later. 20% of all Firelight ESS DeVi insurance premiums phase 2. And then here's the thing. Together, these streams should fully offset the annual inflation after January 2026, because after that, after January 2026, there will be no flare drops. So the inflation that keeps on rising and rising, it's because of the flare drops. And starting from January 2026, there will be no major inflation. So after that, inflation will go to zero. But now, because of this proposal, and Hugo is saying like, "Hey, we also have this similar idea, and we're probably gonna do this." It's not going to zero; it's going negative, folks. So this inflation thing we were worrying, now it's going down after January. That's my prediction. Because obviously you have to get this proposal, and after January, when these drops are stopping, that's why, guys, we are literally lucky to receive these drops. Before you know, it's all over. It's all said and done, and Flare will move from an inflationary token to a deflationary token. So the supply will decrease, and this guy has a great proposal. So as you can see, abstract, just as Aave, and Aave is another blockchain, takes 10 to 20% of borrow interest, reserve factor, plus 100% of flash loan fees to fund treasury and the Aave buybacks. This proposal takes similar portions to fees to funds permanent FLR buy and burn. The end goal is identical: turn real protocol revenue into direct deflationary pressure on the native token. This is absolutely amazing. And the fact that Hugo is now saying, like, "Hey, did you have access to my computer?" He's kind of worried because this is the exact thing Hugo wanted to do. And once this proposal goes through, guys, the game will change for Flare. Because after this Flare drop thing, I know, we have a couple drops left. In December, we have 2 drops. In January, we have 1 drop, and then it's all said and done. Then the supply will be 100 billion. And then they still have something a little bit that just increases but then goes to zero. So it will be eventually zero inflation. But with this proposal, ladies and gentlemen, this inflation will go negative. And I will show you on the whiteboard what I'm talking about. It's been a while that I pulled up the whiteboard. So, guys, let's go straight to the whiteboard. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another whiteboard session where I will explain to you what is going to happen with the supply of FLR after this proposal. But I will also explain to you what is happening right now with the supply of FLR. So as of right now, our supply is around 78 billion. And we have 3 FLR drops. So we're at 78 billion. 1 FLR drop in the beginning of December, so December 1st. We have another FLR drop happening at the end of December. And then we have another FLR drop happening on around the end of January. So we have 3 FLR drops left. That will bring the supply to 100 billion. It's around 100 billion. And after this, there will be no FLR drops. So this increase that has always been happening because of the FLR drops will not be there anymore. So the supply will just be around 100 billion. But as you can see, inflation is already going near zero. Just a little tiny bit goes up maybe. But eventually, there's no inflation anymore. It will hover around 100 billion, can be a bit more. But now with this proposal, because of the revenue they will make from the fees and more revenue that they will make from FLR network and also from Firelight, that proposal is going to say actually that a portion from the fees, a portion from other revenues will be buying FLR so it can burn it. So the more demand there is for FLR, so when the demand is going to increase, that means more revenue will be made. That also means that there will be more fees made and obviously also more revenue from other streams. And that small portion of that will be buying FLR, and that FLR will be burned, which is absolutely amazing because we know Firelight is about to open the floodgates for FLR network activity. So the fact that a portion of the fees can be 15%, 20 or 30, depending on what it's going to propose, because the tweet was obviously as an idea, but we don't know what Hugo is going to come out with if it comes to the percentages and all of that. Shows enough, folks, that this supply here, just because of this, will make sure that the supply will decrease slowly. And I'm not talking about the collateral that FLR needs for FXRP and all of that. I'm just saying 100 billion, it was all flat, inflation was near zero, and now because of this, because of the revenue, a portion of that revenue will buy up FLR, will burn it, makes the supply decrease. And this is already a really good step to the right direction because we don't want to see this happening. We want to see this happening with the supply. And the more activity there is for the network, the more fees will be made, the more revenue will be made, the more FLR can be bought and burnt. So that means supply will decrease. And I'm not even talking about collateral, guys. I mean, we know what is going to happen. Not just only with FXRP, but also with FDoge, FBTC, which is a huge market for DeFi.
There is a lot of demand out there for this. And you need FLR as collateral for all of them. And even F Litecoin, right? So you need collateral for all of these F assets. And what is going to happen if you lock up FLR even more? That means the supply is getting decreased drastically because there is more demand for FLR for the lockup for this. That also means that the supply is actually way less in reality. Because when everybody is going to wanting to buy FLR, but FLR will be locked up because of this happening, because of the collateral for FXRP, FDoge, FBTC, and F Litecoin. And then you have a mechanism out there that takes a portion of fees and revenue, buys up FLR, burns it. What is going to happen with this? It's not going up, folks. It's going straight down. And that's what we need. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we need a supply shock. There you go.
So I hope that you guys are having a clear picture now what is going to happen with Flare. The future for Flare, ladies and gentlemen. The Flare token. That's what I'm talking about. Because thanks to Dr. Shweti, we have answers now because obviously this proposal looked the exact same of what Hugo wanted to propose, right? So every single little fee that has been made, a portion of that will be buying Flare and it will be burning Flare. So the more activity is going to happen on the network, obviously because of Firelight, because a lot of people are going to turn their XRP to FXRP. You have exchanges going to do that too. Obviously, you have the financial institutions also doing that. So the volume will be very high. And what is going to happen when the volume is going to increase? That means that the fees, the revenue is going to be massive. And a portion of that is going to buy FLR and it's going to burn FLR. And they're already burning FLR. Like every single month, I see like 100 something million in FLR that gets burned. So they're already burning FLR. But with this mechanism, the more activity will be on the Flare network, thanks to Firelight, thanks to a lot of other protocols that are coming, the more deflationary Flare will be. This is absolutely amazing because we are kind of with these last drops, we're kind of going towards the peak of inflation and then it goes neutral and then it actually goes down. Because of this proposal, we are going down even more. So when the demand will increase and the supply gets less, ladies and gentlemen, what do we have? A supply shock. I hope you guys enjoyed this content. Make sure to like, subscribe, and don't forget to comment something down below. Let me know what you think about this video, and I'll see you guys next time.